would like to welcome you all to my YouTube channel Anjana's Education. Today I am moving to the non-detailed study or invitation to English 2, and we are dealing with the topic Mystery of the Missing Cave, which is written by Manoj, and we have already discussed about it, and we discussed in the previous how and what was the preparation of Mr. Moharana to welcome Babu Virkishore, who was the minister. And as I told you that the agenda was there, it was a hidden agenda of Mr. Moharana to enter into politics through Babu Virkishore, who was a famous person in that locality, and the person Mr. Moharana was known as a patriot. ବା ଗୋଟେ ଦେଶାତ୍ମକ ବୋଧକ ବା ଗୋଟେ ନେସନ୍ ପ୍ରତି ଥିବା ଗୋଟେ ଗର୍ବିତ ଲୋକ ଥିଲେ ସିଏ, and he wanted to enter into politics through Babu Virkishore, who was a minister then. So we are going to the next unit. At last the big day came. After being prepared a lot, or after a lot of preparation for the person Babu Virkishore, the day came finally. Se dino asithila to welcome that person. The minister arrived there. Panchitile, the minister got down from his jeep. When he entered, the very first welcome arc on the outskirts of the village, प्रथम उच्चारण होइतिला तांको स्वागत समर्थना दे जाइतिला. There he was profusely garlanded by Shri Moharan. Shri Moharana तांको फूल माळ दे तांको स्वागत करथिले, but was requested to re-enter the jeep as his destination was still a furlong away. But the minister smiled and made some statement which meant the great though destiny had made him, he loved to keep his feet on the ground, and he denied कि Mr. Babu Virkishore मना कले जीप रे जीवा पाई, and he told to Mr. Moharana that I will walk and I will, or I would, sorry, I would like to put my feet on the ground. मु मोर गोड़ो को मु ग्राउंड रखी चली जीवा पाई पसंद करछि. That is what mentioned by the writer Manoj. As I told you, who is Manoj? Manoj is the writer of this text, and he was the eyewitness of this incident which was happening before him. जोटा तांको सामना रे घटुतला से घटना विषय से वर्णना करचंती. Finally that day came to welcome Babu Virkishore, and it was organized by Mr. Moharana. And why he organized, we know it. आमे कोन जानिचु से कोन पे organize करथिले, because he wanted to enter into politics through Babu Virkishore. Virkishore होचंती कि से अंचल रो गोटे व्यक्ति बा जे गोटे famous person, and he was the minister. So we are moving the next paragraph. Well, hundreds applauded and shouted Babu Virkishore ki jai and Bharat Mata ki jai, etc. So the slogan was started after that. Slogan start heitila Virkishore ki jai, Bharat Mata ki jai, etc. and etc. The elephantine minister plodded through the street to the embarrassment of the poor naked earth, it seemed. Say the person Babu Virkishore, who was walking along with the companions, he watched the people around the village. And we are moving the next. Actually it is too difficult task to mention all the things in detail, and if you have any doubt you can comment me, you can put your comments in the comment box, and I would like to reply you all. बहुत interesting text, good story, short story written by Manoj. It is full of comedy, and I still remember the look of Shri Moharana when the minister's long round arm rested on his shrunken neck, a look which I never seen only once or twice later in life in the faces of dying people who have lived a contented and complete life. Shri Moharana's look suggested, what more, oh my mortal life, could you expect from the world, my. So I told you, Mr. Moharana wanted to gain a lot of things through Babu Virkishore, and it was a dream that to enter into politics, and whether it was going to be fulfilled or not, that is what we are going to discuss. Se kivali bhavre tankaro जो organize करथिले that event, whether it was organized successfully or not. As I also mentioned that the person was under pressure, and it was for the first time that he organized that kind of event, because it was his intention that to enter into politics. Se politics re enter करबा पई चाहूले, सेथि पई ए grand event organize करा जाइतिला by the person Mr. Moharana. So in the next paragraph, all the people, even invalids for many of whom it was the experience of a lifetime, were alternately shouting slogans and gaping. Some of the peoples were there around the event, and they enchanted, and they pronounced the slogans, and it was their experience that they gained on that day. से भलिया गोटे जिनसर से मुख साखी रहिले अभिज्ञता हासिल कले with the half naked with half naked, pot believed uncivilized children. Some people were also there, those who were half naked, those who didn't have dress, proper clothes. ସେଇଭଳି ଲୋକମାନେ ସେଠି ଏକତ୍ରିତ ହୋଇଥିଲେ and it was such a scenario. It was a naked truth walked parallel to the minister or at a safe distance, and ସମସ୍ତେ କ'ଣ କରୁଥିଲେ, they walked together along with the minister with at a safe distance and could not help feeling extremely small and guilty. ନିଜକୁ ସେମାନେ ବଡ଼ ବୋଲି ଭାବୁଥିଲେ and ସେମାନେ ଛୋଟ ବୋଲି ନିଜକୁ ଭାବୁନଥିଲେ when they started walking along with the person Babu Virkishore. At Shri Moharana's house, the minister and his entourage were treated to tender coconut juice. ତାପରେ ସେଠି ତାଙ୍କୁ ନଡ଼ିଆ जो पानी दिया जाइथिला पिवा ପାଇଁ, followed by the most luxurious lunch. से दिन लंच बहुत बढ़िया थिला. It was full of 20 dishes, पाखापाखि 20टा प्रकार आइटम तांको ପାଇଁ ହେଇଥିଲା, and also sweet and ghee backed rice. घिओ बा जो आमे कहूछु घिओरे तैयारी चावल भलो ताको रंधिकी दिया जाइथिला काहाकू, बाबू वीरकिशोर को, because he was a minister and for the first time the kind of scenario or organized by the person Mr. Moharana. Soon the minister retired to the cabin set apart for him. Though it was a summer, the cabin's window being open to a big pond and a grove, and there was enough air to fool this giant of man. And he was very fat, as I mentioned. The person, Mr. Babu Virkishore, was too fat, tige mota thile, and he came to that village in the summer. Summer boli koile khara dinore asikire pahunchithile se gote gaଁ रे, and after taking his lunch, he moved to take rest to his cabin. It was set by Mr. Moharana. Mr. Moharana द्वारा organize करा दितला event, and he set a cabin and he made a plan to stay, and he organized and से गोटे जिनस से माने आमे कहि परिबा that he arranged प्रस्तुत करथिले तांग पय गोटे cabin to stay के the minister को रहबा पय बंदोबस्त करथिले. It was a summer's day, the cabin's window being open, सबु गुडा झरका फर सब ओपन थिला, and there was a big pond in front of that cabin. the front रे गोटे भलो आमे कहि परिबा गोटे पोखरी थिला. There was enough air, भलो पवन आसुथला to that cabin, and lull this giant of men to sound sleep, to take rest. It was the perfect scenario on the part of that person or Babu Virkishore. Volunteers had been posted to see that noise, whatever would originate from anywhere in the village, to disturb the ministerial repose. माने मिनिस्टर को जो disturb न हो, everybody was there who was taking the guard of the minister. Minister को guard करी कर से माने थिले, that how माने जिभली भावरे nobody should disturb him while he was taking rest. से जेतेबेले विश्राम नउतले के जेम तांको डिस्टर्ब न करंतु, समस्त ता प्रति ध्यान दउतले. I had by then separated myself from my companions. तापर मु से जगार दूरे जाइतली. The writer has mentioned his lines, से से बडी कथा कहिचंती, that he departed from that place from his companions. तांकर सांगमान ठार से दूरे की जाइतले बा से जगह छाड़ी की जाइतले. But being rather ambitious, I was eager to be as physically close to the great man as possible. And the person Mr. Manoj Das, who is the writer of the text, as I told you that he was the eyewitness of the incident which was happening before him, जोड़ा तांको सामना रे घटला से ताको भलो भाबरे देखिथिले. And I was eager, writer आग्रही थिले, to be as physically close to the great man. See, minister को close होया पय से चाहुथले, and he wanted to talk something and he wanted to speak something to the minister, and in this way he wanted to get closer to the person Babu Virkishore से close होया पय चाहुथले. And the minister sleeping seemed the most ideal condition for achieving my goal. गोटे minister तापरे एभली भाबरे सोई थिले that it was like that the person, it was easier for the writer to talk to the minister. Minister कथा पे एथिला गोटे प्रकृष्ट समय से फील कले. Mastering all my self confidence, I slowly approached the window facing the pond. तापरे the writer moved to that cabin where the person Babu Virkishore, the minister, stayed. जोठी से रहउतले जो केबिन रे से झरका को खोली की भीतर को जीवा पय ट्राई कले के राइटर मनोज दास. This was the rear side of the house. The minister's PA and entourage were on the opposite side. जो भीतर दे राइटर प्रवेश कले, there was no one से साइड्रे कहीं नथिले तांकर पछ साइड्रे तांकर पीए थिला एंड इट वाज काइंड ऑफ आम कहीपर दैट वाज द आइडियल मोमेंट ऑन द पार्ट ऑफ द राइटर to talk or to meet that giant person or to meet the minister Babu Virkishore. So what happened in the next unit we would like to discuss in the next.